This is PopKorn, and we're chatting with Staxx.
Welcome to this episode of Chatting with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today I got PopKorn. What's up, man? How you doing?
All right, just chilling in the tattoo shop.
You got a crazy story, wildness you've been living through.
Yeah, I got a few of them. You know what I mean?
So where were you born and raised?
I was born in Fresno, California, but I was raised in Del Paso Heights. It's a neighborhood in northern Sacramento. So
What was your early life like?
Early on, living in Sacramento, my mom, she had 5 kids. Nobody in the household. I was the oldest, so I kind of took on the lead role pretty early. Same thing as anybody who probably lived in a low-income neighborhood with a single mom. You know what I mean? The struggle was real from the beginning. But, what don't break you makes you. I got to give her credit for pushing us out the front door and not letting us run in and hide. You know what I mean? Because there wasn't nobody to make us get out there and deal with the right way.
Were you getting in trouble when you were younger?
Oh, yeah, that's definitely when it started. I mean, we had to steal to eat, basically, you know what I mean? So we had to steal to do anything else, too, you know what I mean? I was pretty bad into car theft and stuff like that when I was younger. I did a lot of crazier things in my younger years than I did in my older years. Lucky enough to probably learn some lessons, man. I did a lot of drugs and stole a lot of cars, did a lot of crime, did all kind of shit. But, luckily before I was old enough to catch any hard time over it, you know what I mean? Kind of clean my act up.
What was your first interaction with the police?
I mean, just petty. I think I was in junior high. I mean, I call it petty, but it's not petty. Me and a brother of mine, I got a twin, but we got arrested together. Everything we did together. So we was vandalizing some hotel signs. I mean, it's crazier than it sounds. Most little kids breaking the window, that's all they're doing. But we were breaking the signs to get the Pyrex glass so we could sell it to the kids for glass pipes. You know what I mean? Like it was a real one. You know what I mean? So from an early age, I was just exposed to a lot of older people. Everybody who I dealt with was in and out of prison. So all the stories that we idolized were from people that were in and out of prison. You know what I'm saying? Inner city, man, you got 2 spots to pick. You could either be the bottom or the top. And if you like getting picked on and you like getting pushed around, and then you kind of do it that way. But if you don't, you got to get it how you got to get it. And it was just rough, and we just made our way. Probably about high school age is when I started cleaning myself up as far as crime goes. I know that sounds early, but I did it a lot in a little short amount of time.
What about motorcycles? Were you into them back then?
We was too poor to have one, so I didn't have my dad in my life. But the first time I seen a picture of him, my mother slapped the Sacramento Bee newspaper down in front of me. I was probably 12 or 13. And she says, "There's your father right there." And there was a memorial run going on, and there was bikes in uniform formation, going down the highways. This is probably, 90, 92, something like that. About 92, somewhere in there. And I see this photo of my dad leading the pack. And, that was my first introduction to anything motorcycle, really, seeing my dad in the newspaper like that. And then eventually, I'd meet him, and he rode his club affiliation or whatever. I'm not going to bring that up, but you know what I mean? He rode the club. He died kind of soon after being in my life, you know what I mean? So there was no long-term attraction through him, but that's definitely what started it, you know what I mean?
Seeing the pictures of him in the pack?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing, you know what I mean? Like, there's not a lot of pictures of my father because he was the one behind the camera. You know what I mean? I got a wall in my tattoo shop full of photos, you know what I mean? But just old biker, rallies and runs and, the good old days, as they call it. You know what I mean? my first motorcycle that I got, I was probably 20 years old. I hustled my first bike. I got a 98 Heritage Softail. It cost $10,900 NorCal choppers in Citrus Heights, California, and I didn't pay a dollar for the yeah. I mean, I just used my, street wisdom that I gained growing up, and somebody back then, growing and dealing any kind of marijuana or anything like that was highly illegal. There was this lady in the hood. She got a huge settlement, $300,000 settlement, and she heard through the grapevine that I grew, and which was not the truth. The grapevine fucks the whole story up, right? The truth was that my father grew, so I'd never had any experience doing that. But the lady requested my services, and when I found out how much money she had, I figured this is my shot to get a bike. You know what I mean? So I told the lady, "Look, I'll teach you, I'll help you, I'll do whatever you need done, but as payment, I want a bike." And she tells me, "Oh, I'll pay you $5,000." I said, "No, no, I don't want $5,000. Matter of fact, if you could find a bike for half that, you could save half your money. I want a set of keys." You know what I mean? So she ends up putting me to work. Eventually, long story short, because at first she told me to get, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But eventually she needed my services, and she she did business with me, and we go to the store, and the cheapest bike there was 12 grand. And I'm an honest person at the end of the day. That kind of sounds weird saying that I grew up that way, but it's kind of like the code amongst thieves. There's honor amongst thieves. I worked for the money. You know what I'm saying? I hustled as far as my knowledge. But what I did, this is some crazy shit. I went to Barnes and Nobles and stole Ed Abel's marijuana Bible because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to help this lady, but I'd read a chapter and I'd go recite it to her the next day. And I walked her through Ed Abel's book, and we grew weed together for the first time.
Made it seem like you were real knowledgeable, right?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'd read a chapter and I'd go back and recite it, and I played my way into a motorcycle. You know what I'm saying? And then after that, man, it was over. I'm so I was 20 years old, I think, when that happened, and I'm 44 now. I've probably had 20 Harleys. You know what I mean? So it definitely caused cancer.
So when you get your first bike, do you start associating with any clubs? Do you start hanging around it, people?
I mean, not to that degree. I had some family members that ran a little club out in California. It's dissolved as far as I know, but back in the day, it was kind of Sacramento famous. You know what I mean? I was in that circle, but I didn't ride with any of them. I think because I was their cousin, they watched me grow up as a kid too. You know what I'm saying? So I was probably still too young in their eyes, even at 20, to go and doing what they were doing. This is Sacramento, California. This ain't some podunk spot in the middle of nowhere where they're not active. You know what I mean? Like, the little bit of childhood I told you is so tumultuous because of the area that I am from. You know what I mean? Like, there's 10-year-olds killing people out there. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like some Amish spot where, rolling a cheese wheel down the fucking hill. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a lot of gangs out there and things like that, right?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, yeah. It's just gang culture, 100%. You know what I mean? But I mean, I always had an infatuation. As soon as I got a bike, I think anybody who, you know what I mean, wants to belong to something, that the precipice of a guy joining a club, I think, is he's searching for something anyway. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't want none, if you ain't trying to buy anything, you shut the door and you carry on. But if you keep talking, it's because you're interested. So I think everybody's looking for something when they go that route. You know what I mean? I was, you know what I mean? I'll be the first to admit, you know what I mean? Doing everything on my own all the time. You know what I mean? I don't really make enemies, and one thing I've always done is stand on my own. You know what I'm saying? So I've never had to have anybody wipe my ass, and I take it quite disrespectful when a man needs his ass wiped for regular, just regular. In other words, if it's a one-on-one altercation or disrespect situation, you know what I mean? Like, it should stay that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't like a guy that says, "Hey, can you help me? This guy over here is talking." Well, I mean, if they jump you, I'll help you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
But you got to go stand up for your own self. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah. I'm sure later on in your life, have you ever seen where someone that's with the club comes back like, oh, I got a problem with it, tries to bring the club into some other
oh
beef?
yeah, bro. So you just crack the can open. So you're good at what you do. You just crack the can wide open, man. So I was not in a club. I was trying to go that route. This is got nothing to do with my current affiliation, but I was in the middle of nowhere, podunk somewhere. I was in the middle of Montana. I was at a motorcycle show, and I was wearing some support gear, and I was new to the scene, completely green, and I was just enjoying myself, not causing any harm, not doing. And I had some guy walk up to me, and he was that middleman. He was the piece of. You know what I mean? He was the one who they sent out. You know what I mean? He walks up to me and compliments me on my support gear as if I'm a full member. You know what I mean? Oh, that's cool. You're a blah blah blah. I said, no, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? He goes, oh yeah, well, so and so's here and so and so's here and so and so's here. I said, that's pretty cool. He said, oh well, they think you should come over and say hi. And now that I've kind of put my foot in the motorcycle world, a head nod, any kind of just form of acknowledgement. You know what I mean? I respect people until it's time to disrespect them. You know what I mean? But at that point, I had no clue, and I wasn't interested in listening to nobody tell me what to do. I'm not checking
Yeah.
in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I carried on about my day, and by the time the motorcycle show ended, they approached me. And it was two, at least two factions for sure. I think it was three factions, like two main deals, and then a little support situation. But they walk up to me. It's obviously they're mad. You know what I mean? But I want to throw the element of surprise on them and shit. If I let them carry the conversation on, it was gonna say, "Hey, what the you doing here with this on? Let's go outside." I knew the end play, so I beat them to it. You know what I'm saying? I said, "It's kind of fucking loud in here, gentlemen. I think we should take this one outside." I want to get a clear understanding of exactly what you're saying right now. You know what I'm saying? And I knew I was going to get my ass kicked. You know what I mean? But I'm going to do it with a smile on my face. You know what I'm saying?
Probably shocked them
So I
when you
beat him to
said
the
that.
door. I held it and let them all walk out. You know what I'm saying? And it's not a tough guy story. It's just a me story. You know what I'm saying? I was prepared to walk away with my teeth in my pocket, but I wasn't prepared to just wrap my between my legs and walk off like a pup. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it ended zero altercation. You know what I'm saying? They mud checked me. You know what I mean? What is this? You know what I mean? You know who we are. We got this place. You know what I mean? Blah, blah, blah. And I just let them know, I pull this sweatshirt over my head every day as a show of something that's in my heart, not as a show of you. And then they try to pull the, well, it is to us. And I say, well, you can take anything the way you want because you're a grown, free American man. So, you know what I'm saying? I can't stop you there, but I think I'm leaving with my sweatshirt if you guys don't mind. You know what I'm saying? But I kept my, you know what I'm saying? They didn't take anything from me. So I go to work, and I'm a tattoo artist at that time, and I'm crying to my buddies about the guy who came in the first place because I want a piece of his ass. You know what I'm saying? I don't like that sideways crocodile. You know what I mean? Like, come up to me and tell me, hey, you got about 5 seconds to get the fuck over there, bud, because then I'm going to be able to answer you from that understanding, and whatever way it goes, we are on a clear field. Let's go. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
But you being that sneaky coward, I don't like that. So I had a problem with this dude. Finally, man, about 2-3 weeks later, I was in no shape to take care of this situation. I was already at the bar hella too long. I was already way too. And my friend comes up, and this is no club. This is all just hanging out, doing whatever. And my friend grabs my head and kind of turns it down the bar, and he says, "Who is that?" And it kind of hit me. Oh, that's the guy. So I said, "All right, hold on a minute. I'm gonna walk over here." The bar was packed as and I had no clue this dude was club affiliated. Okay. I walk up to this dude, and about 8 guys slide up, and he puts his hand, to the side like he's Guido. Hey, it's okay, guys. You know what I'm saying? And I look at the dudes and I said, I didn't know it was like that. If I just want to talk to this gentleman, is it okay if I talk to this gentleman? And they said, and he gives the pass. Well, there was a smoke pit in this particular bar, like a separate room. Once again, I said, hey, it's a little loud in here. We should, go over here. And he knew who I was. You know what I mean? Well, on the walk from the bar to the damn room, I realized how drunk I was. So I was going to actually do something that I don't ever do. I don't talk. I don't talk about it. You know what I'm saying? But I was really, and I made the decision I was going to warn him, which is always a mistake. You know what I'm saying? We get him in there. I say, hey, the slime ball you pulled, blah, 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 blah. And I started to tell him, don't you ever again. You know what I'm saying? And my brother, you know what I mean? We got this little code. It's just a look. And it's a problem if you don't take care of the look later. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When the look happens, you got to act. You know what I mean? So I had zero choice. I take off on the dude. I'm so drunk, I miss him completely on the first one. You know what I mean? He fucking matrix that shit. But he pops back up, and I just whack-a-mole his ass. Boom. Knocked him out one punch. The door comes flying open. They drag him out, on his face. My fucking bro draws a line in his blood with his toes. Says the ass whooping starts on this side of the line. Motherfuckers, come get some. The barmaid's trying to kick everybody out the bar. These dudes will not press the line. You know what I'm saying? We burn the bar. We hop out. We get the fuck out of there. And it's just me and some regular pedestrian ass friends and a couple family members, man. We get out of there and we just cook ass to the next bar. And as we're leaving, there's about 20 bikes pulling in, giving us the what's up. And we're giving them the see you later. That was more of his people. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
so we get to the
man.
next bar, man. And then there goes the cops. And then there goes the ambulance. And I'm like, God damn it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody rips out of there. My clutch blows in the goddamn parking lot. So I'm trying to stash my bike in the bushes. You know what I'm saying? And it's a small town, so the story burned like wildfire. I go to the tattoo shop, and everybody I worked with was just like regular dudes, you know what I'm saying? And I was like the little bikers, the little bit of biker in the shop. They was always nervous. I was always trying to calm them down. It's not like that. It's just gangland trying to ruin everything. And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not like that. Well, when I made it back to the shop, I was basically fired because the story made it back to the shop, and this shop owner was shaking in his boots.
Terrified, right?
You know what I'm saying? They're
Yeah.
coming, they're coming, they're coming. I don't name drop. I find out who they are. And the dude who I touched, he was president of a support situation. You know what I'm saying? I did not know that. And it was his annual family function at that bar. So everybody's old lady there, like all the mothers, like every person who was attached to that was there. So it was big. It was bad. Find out who it is, and I just so happened to have a business card from somebody who rides with that club, and I call them and I say, my name is word on the street in this area. You're looking for me. I'm a very busy man. I'd rather get it done today than deal with it tomorrow. You know
You
what
call
I'm
the
saying?
support club or the main
No,
club?
hell no. Number one, I ain't calling no support club. I already beat his ass. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But no. I wasn't calling like Jackie Chan. I was calling to cash my ass whooping in. I knew I had it coming. I just don't like looking over my shoulder.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, hurry up, let's get this over with type phone call.
Yeah, you don't got to look for me.
No, I'm right here. You know what I'm saying? So I get the phone call out. It takes a couple hours before they buzz around and figure out who this phone call came from and what's going on. So now I get a more local phone call in return. I get a phone call that says, do you know this certain person? I can't name drop. So all this mystery man I'm sorry about, but I don't do that to people, you know.
Yeah.
So they go, do you know this guy? And I said, yeah, he's a good friend of mine. And he was like my main guy at the time. We rode together, hung out together. I think he was there. You know what I'm saying? Like, anyway, they say, show up to this bar at this time and show up with him, or don't show up at all. So I call him. I said, hey, listen, uh, they want you to show up with me. He says, you, that bar belongs to them. You won't leave that. I'm not going. Well, you ain't making me look like a. I call him back. I say, hey, look, dude ain't built like that. He said, no, thank you. But if you'll kindly send me the address, I will be showing up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't give a. Listen, man, we all got to meet that maker one day, bro. Okay. Two things about this that's so special to me. I swear to God, this is what makes me tough. Ha ha, motherfucker. I didn't know you killed me. I'm dead. I'm
Yeah,
dead.
right.
I'm dead.
Yeah.
You know
You don't got to worry about
I'm
it once
dead.
you're gone.
Yeah. And now you're wanted. You know what I'm saying? I'm dead. And now yo ass about to miss Christmas.
Yeah.
Whose problem is it?
I'm dead.
You
You
want
got
to
to
fuck
worry
with
about
somebody,
it.
man? You want to fuck with somebody in this life? You know what I'm saying? Slap the fuck out of them every time you see them. You know what I'm saying? Make a move. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you do that, you do it to yourself. But anyway, so again, I call him, I tell him, yo, he's not gonna show. I'm down to show. They tell me, no, you're not coming out here. We're coming to you. So okay, and I'm smart, man. I've been in altercations to know that I ain't Superman. You know what I mean? It's good to have vibrato and it's good to be brave and all that. But at the end of the day, you know what I mean? If you don't take one, it'll take two. If you don't take two, it'll take 10. But it can happen. You know what I'm talking about? Like,
Yeah.
so who is anybody really? So I was humble in everything I was about to do. You know what I mean? But it's still, I was strategic. You know what I'm saying? I hit hammers and knives and everything you could think of every 2 feet. Every pillow, everything had something under it because I didn't know if I'd be able to get away that far. Yeah, I just needed something in arm's reach, no matter where it
Yeah,
was
but
going down.
you having to meet you at your house?
No, at the tattoo shop. My boss hates me at this point. You know what I'm saying? No, I mean I could have at the house, but there's children there, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm prepared to get beat up. You know what I mean? And I get another phone call, and it's the guy. It's the one. You know what I'm talking about? And he says, "Hey, I'm gonna tell you what. You tattoo?" I said, "Yes, I do." He said, "All right, I'm gonna be there in an hour, and I'm bringing a bunch of my brothers, and you're gonna tattoo every one of them. You hear me?" I said, "I got it." You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what this is yet. You know what I'm saying? And to me, I'm willing to purchase something, but I don't want to purchase more than I could eat. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's yes sir, no sir, because I want to fill the waters out. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The hour definitely don't happen. The hour sends in about 10 support dudes, and they pull in and they just sit on their bikes. They just sit out there and chill. So now I'm sitting there, how long is this going to take? When's this going to happen? Who is this? What's going on? About 2 hours later, five of them come rolling in, you know, and about 15 minutes after that, two of them came rolling in, and those two was the main two. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And this is like my first introduction into how real is, because remember, at this point, I own a support sweatshirt. You know what I'm saying? That's it. The dude I'm rocking with, this couldn't have got thicker than a Snicker quicker. You know what I'm talking about? The people that showed up, evidently, is his ex club. And not only his ex club, but his ex main brothers. And not only that, he's out bad. And not only that, they feel that he's done the club really, really wrong by doing a certain documentary. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sitting next to his ass. You know what I mean? He's my guy. I'm ready to fry with him, but I didn't know all this. You know what I'm
Wait, so
saying?
he's with you in the tattoo?
He's my guy. He's the dude they said, have him show up to this bar or don't show up at all. He ends
Yeah.
up getting his nuts together and showing up. I didn't say that part. He ends up pulling up to the tattoo shop, and he ends up pulling up to the tattoo shop disrespectful as a mother. draped in support gear,
Now,
support
so
hat, support
he
glasses.
doesn't have a vest. He doesn't have a
No,
car.
he's supporting a different club at this point. Hardcore. He got support underwear, support socks, support wallet, support Q-tips, and you know what I mean. Like he showed up dripping. You know what I mean. So when the dude sees this me now, he ain't got nothing to say to me. He walks up to him. He shows him a bracelet and a ring. He says, "Where the is yours at?" Talking to the other guy. He says, "You don't got yours no more, do you?" That's right, mother. And just like drill sergeants, his support hat off his head. What the is this? He picks his shit up. The dude is 66 pounds wet and wearing boots. The dude is tiny as shit. You know what I'm saying? But he's got a heart of a lion. You know what I mean? He picks
Yeah.
his support gear shit up. And the other dude dwarfs me. Okay, 6'6", 350, if not 4. And I ain't talking about a blob. The dude is big as he's a monster. You know what I mean? And he put the hat back on. I'm just doing something for somebody who I believe is there for me. And then he went into his personal shit about how he thought they weren't there for him and blah 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 when they had their little issues or falling out or whatever. And then the dude looks at me. He looks at his buddy next to him. He goes, "You sit here and you talk to our ex brother, and I want you to hurt him where in his heart where it hurts. Like talk shit, whatever. He says, but you in the tattoo shop, come on." I'm like, man, all right, let's go. There's nobody in the tattoo shop. I do have somebody in a vehicle, you know what I mean, with all kinds of, but it's still outnumbered. It's never going to be any kind of good. It's going to be an evacuation at best. You know what I'm saying? I walk in there and he goes, "So you tell me right now why the one of my guys are sitting in the hospital right now with a fractured face because you decided to jump him." And I said, "Damn." I said, "I didn't know he didn't get jumped. I didn't jump him." He said, "You trying to tell me my guys are liars?" I said, "I'm not saying anybody's a liar. I'm just saying maybe somewhere in the line of communication, some of the truth got lost." He says, "That's bullshit. There ain't no way that you did what that happened to him, and you're telling me it was a one-on-one fight." I said, "I hit him one time. I hit him one time." You know what I mean? He put his hand up or fell down, knocked out. I didn't stay on him. You remember I was drunk. I you know what I mean? One time. That's it. And he goes, "That's crazy, blah 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 blah." And I said, he goes, "So what do you think we should do? How do you think we should handle this?" And I said, "With all due respect, sir, let me explain something to you." And I just explained to him where I came from and how I grew up, and that I was raised on respect. You know what I mean? You don't let your tongue overload your ass. You know what I'm saying? Don't let your tongue get your teeth knocked out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I said, "Look, he I felt he disrespected me. I brought it up to him. You know, he he handled it like a by involving you, in my opinion. You know what I mean?" And then at the end of the conversation, he tells me, he says, "That's crazy because he did tell me that you guys jumped him." And I said, "Well, you know what, man, I'm in trouble over this because I was on probation. I go into the probation department. They nailed me on this. You know what I'm saying?
How did the probation know it was
Probation,
you?
small town, snitches at the bar, whatever the is going on." I walked into the probation department 2 days afterwards. They go, "So you've been at the bar?" He goes, "So," and he turns his computer screen around and it's dude's face. He goes, "So you don't know nothing about this?" And I go, "Ooh, fuck, no, I don't." You know what I'm saying? They ended up violating me on that, but that's after the little, altercation with these guys or whatever, because I implicated myself. Well, I was in the bar, but I was there for taco night. They have a taco night, and I went up there for tacos because he told me they had me on video surveillance at the bar and all this. But because I had already dealt with what I was about to tell you, I wasn't too worried about the story. You know what I'm talking about?
When you're talking to this guy in the club, in the tattoo shop, are the other guys standing with him, or are they still
No,
outside?
no, it's just me and him. Just me and him. Everybody's outside. Everybody's outside. He was going to handle his own shit, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, so I tell him, I never had my ass wiped. The dude didn't get jumped. I handled this shit out of respect. If you still feel that you got to do what you got to do, then I guess do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? We're to that point now. You know what I'm saying? You got the facts. Make your mind based on that. And what are we doing here now? And I swear to God to you, he handed me his business card, swear to God to you, and said, if you ever want to ride with a real club, call me. And he said, and I swear to God, I looked at him and I said, out of all respect, I'm happy where I'm at. And he goes, you know what, man? If you keep this attitude, you're going to go far in this world. You know what I mean? And then he also let me know that I don't have nothing to worry about with the dude talking. You know what I mean? Because I told him I'm on probation, all this. And he said some damn crazy, you know what I mean? Which, whatever, but I liked it. You know what I'm saying? I said, well, you're telling me he's not going to say nothing, but how do I know he's not going to say nothing? He says, man, if I got to wear his face to court and point you out as you didn't hit me, he ain't saying, you know what I'm saying? I said,
Yeah.
damn, you know? So, it is what it is. And after that, I fell off pretty hardcore, not nowhere near to do that. Actually elevated my support situation. You know what I mean? Because then I was on the horn. Hey, listen, you guys, just so you know, I just got into a little bit of this is how I handled it. This is what went down. And I wasn't nothing but back rubs and attaboys. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It is what it is, man. You know what I mean? At this same time, though, I got 3 daughters. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not in their lives, and I'm trying to fight for custody or at least visitation at this point. You know what I'm saying? With their mom in the same town, and the dudes that I was hanging out with, they actually elevated. You know what I'm saying? And went out west and 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 got put on, and I had the full ride scholarship. You know what I'm saying? But I had to make a decision. I'm going to try to be here for my kids. I'm going to try to be a dad. I just wanted to square something away with my children before I moved out. You know what I'm saying? And then eventually I did, and it didn't take forever. I mean, it took a year or two. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But once I got it ironed out and I moved out west, it was crickets. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a very proud person. One thing that I pride myself on is like being so poor but having all that damn street credit. I'm not Jackie Chan, dude. I lost so many more fights than I've ever won, but I've fought every one of them. You know what I'm talking about? And that gets you somewhere in that lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? Say, watch this. I'm about to go get a black eye. You're gonna laugh your ass off. Get this on film real quick. Yeah. But it builds character. You know what I'm saying? It teaches you how to hold your tongue back a little bit. But either way, I sat out here for years, man, doing my tattoo shop. Ended up meeting another female. We moved out here, got the shop going, and had some kids. Started a new family. You know what I mean? And then that's when the little opportunity came that was out here.
Were you
I
riding with anybody once you went out there? Were you like
no, man,
riding
no.
with
I came
people?
out here. I was sitting in the tattoo shop for 3 or 4 years. I had 2 different bikes, 3 different bikes, all solo riding. I work a lot, man. I work 11 to 11, 7 days a week. You know what I'm saying? So you can find me at the tattoo shop. I heard one time say, yeah, when I find you, I said, motherfucker, everybody knows where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? Come see me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a tattoo shop. It's easier than, you know what I mean? Come get a tattoo. If I get yeah, no, nobody was me. I wasn't nobody. And I kind of had my feelings hurt. You know what I'm saying? When you do this brother hugs and high fives and trading rings and hats, and I'd been on the road with the support stuff. You know what I mean? Went out. Didn't ever get to go into clubhouse, but made it to the clubhouse and just I did my grunt work. You know what I'm saying? Or at least a portion of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm a proud dude, you know what I mean? So when I came out here, they were members now, you know what I'm saying? So I think it was the stigmatism of I'm not going to call you because I'm a member, like you call me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I didn't reach out, but it was crazy because the Same day, no bullshit, that that I was in denim, you know what I mean? I got a phone call, and it wasn't a phone call to me from them. It was a phone call that they put in to a mutual to have him call me. You know what I mean? And it's just it's fucked up, man. I care about a lot of people. You know what I mean? Just because she went sour, don't really. My feelings were hurt. There wasn't a real line of disrespect yet. You know what I'm saying? So now you can't even call me and have that conversation. You got a middleman hitting me up. And one thing that we've already discussed is how I ain't. You know what I'm saying?
They might
So
as well call the guy you crushed his face in. They
hey,
might as
check
well
it.
call
Look,
him to call you, right?
man. Look, the message came through. They want to know what the you're doing because they don't want to see anybody get hurt. And my message back to them was, I agree with that statement fully, 100%. I don't want to see anybody get hurt either. So if you don't want to see anybody get hurt, don't come around and I won't hurt you.
Well, was it? Did they feel disrespected that they were branching out in their area? Is that what the
Oh
reason
yeah,
was?
yeah. Oh come on, we know how the motorcycle club works. So I haven't name dropped yet. We'll get to that point. You know what I mean? With my affiliation and my my club experience. But yeah, any club is not gonna like anything new to the area coming in. You know what I mean? You got to put your foot down. You know what I mean?
But
And there's a respectful way to do it, and there's in both ways end in clash. There's one thing about chapters is there's just an array of mindsets. Some guys say as long as they don't get off on our exit and don't go to our bar and don't with our women and then other dudes say we should find them. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, and some people will be like, absolutely not. We don't
Yeah,
want
fuck
them
yeah.
here, and that's
So
it.
it matters, but man, one thing that I was able to do, I think that was real valuable transitioning into club life was I did come from a real tumultuous childhood. I seen brains on the floor. I've been hit with the gravel from the helicopter blades landing in the middle of the road, picking up life flights. Like I ain't bull. You know what I'm saying? Like so to come from that, nobody appreciates peace more than a motherfucking seen war. I prefer to buy you a beer if that's all it's going to take to make sure y'all have a good night and we have a good night. And that ain't no. I just don't like caskets and I don't like roses and white T-shirts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And just it sucks like a mother that this tied and attached to the motorcycle world. But as much as you scream from the mountaintop, it ain't going to change.
It's like all the people that are involved with the clubs are the same people. It don't matter
100%, man.
what
You know
patch
what
you're
fucked me up?
wearing.
You know what fucked me up? Because I'm always paying attention to small. You know, whenever I started in on the club life and hanging out with the faction, you would see a club member hold the door for a Joe Schmo civilian. If he's behind the patch holder and the patch holder's walking into the gas station, he's going to show that he's a respectable person and he's going to hold that door for who knows the hell this dude is. Okay? I don't agree with that. I think if we could hold the door for the civilian who ain't had a background check, who ain't never been mud checked, who ain't, you feel me? You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Yeah, he might be a child. You're holding the door for him.
Could have bad charges, yeah.
He could have a badge and a goddamn tape recorder. You're holding the door for him. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather hold the door for an opposition than a civilian on the respect level. You know what I'm talking about? I mean, I'm not a door holder, but you know what I'm saying? I don't see why it's not like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
But there still
but
is a
yeah,
level of
that's a little
respect,
story about what's that?
regardless, right? Regardless of whether they have the opposition patch on, there still is a level of respect.
A little back up. My childhood, my mom, her husband was black. So I got black siblings. You know what I mean? So when I met my dad, he was as racist as they come. You know what I mean? If my siblings was to go over to my dad's house and have a drink of water, he would let them keep the cup. You know what I mean? Like I'm
Oh,
not bullshit. Like he was racist, and I never was. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why I bring that up is because I've always been a man-to-man communication type guy. You know, I can't hate every one of the opposition. I got family members in other clubs. You know what I'm saying? So what do I look like rolling around saying every single one of them? You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know who to watch and who's okay to walk around, obviously, you know what I'm saying? But we weren't there for that. We were just inheriting the problem. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
But if you can keep your hands to yourself, I can keep my hands to myself. You know what I'm talking about?
When you finally start coming around this other club, are they already established or are you like helping them establish?
Yeah, no, they're established. Yeah, I mean, we could break it out. I mean, if that's what you want to do, if that's where we're at, I mean, I ain't got nothing to hide at all.
Yeah, I mean, tell me how it all transpired.
Yeah, so I rode with the Pagans Motorcycle Club. You know what I mean? My heart's still there. You know what I mean? I have no shade to throw on the club, and that ain't some disclaimer to keep my teeth because we already discussed I'll take one if I need to. But God's honest truth, you know what I mean? You fall in love with the people who fall in love with you. You know what I'm saying? I hate to say it because I supported a different faction in the beginning, but you know, these guys, you know what I mean? They let me ride along. You know what I'm saying? They let me join in all the reindeer games. And that's what any biker wants to do is be a part of something. You know what I'm saying?
But you weren't a member of them. You were
No, I
just
was not a member
that
in
makes
the
a
beginning.
huge difference though,
No, in
because
the beginning. In the beginning.
yeah,
I was a member. I was more than a member in the end. You know what I mean?
no, I'm talking about the people you're supporting before.
No, no, I wasn't. No, what I'm saying though is they had an issue with the way I went. You know what I'm saying? And my reasoning for going pagan was because pagan was taking me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, even as a hang around or a prospect or whatever, like the process was available. You know what I'm saying? The guys were there. We were hanging out. We were communicating and riding and getting to know each other and you know what I mean? Like I wasn't afforded that luxury with the other club. You know what I mean? I felt
When you,
like I was cheerleading way too long.
yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm a good dude. At the end of the day, you know, you can run mouthpiece all you want, but when you lay your head on the pillow, you know who you are, and that's why I'm too proud to just keep my hand up. Like, you know what I mean? Pick me or don't, dude.
That's
You know what I'm
probably why
saying?
they called you right after they find out because they're like, damn.
You know, and I thought about it. You know, man, it's crazy because there's a lot of mind making up to go at that point. There's a crossroad, right? Like I don't really know these guys. I mean, I'm starting to hang around them, but certain guys over there I have love for, and but man, I don't know. I think I'm a sucker for drama.
So
You know what I'm
so
saying?
so the new fact the pagans are there any
The
of the
new
club
pagans, I
you
don't think they're the new pagans. Is that what you said?
no the pagans the new people that you're around,
Oh,
right?
okay.
The pagans
Yeah. So
are
it
there
was a
any
bunch of
members
people
from
that
the other
was
faction
that.
that are there any ex-members from the other faction that joined the pagans?
Oh, I mean, not that I know, not that I was hanging out with. It wasn't like no group movement. It wasn't like let's put this down and pick that up. I wasn't even supporting anymore at this point.
Yeah.
I was just family guy. I had three businesses, working myself into a zombie coma every day, and it just ended up being that I was tattooing a bunch of them and I didn't know it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they checked me out for, you know, I tattooed the one guy for damn near a year. I didn't even know he was pagan. You know what I mean? The other guy that I tattooed, I didn't know he was pagan either. But when he come pulling up, he's you know what I mean, got everything on, you know, and I just instantly go, oh my god, I didn't know, you know, what's up? And he goes, yeah, man. He goes, I've been begging them to meet you, man. He goes, if you got time, you know what I mean? What's up? And I said, yeah, man, what's up? Yeah, I got time. And you get butterflies in your stomach because this wasn't prepared or planned or none of this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know these guys, but I didn't know that that's what they were doing. You know what I mean? My old lady's with me, and I said, you know, she's with me. And she, oh, it don't matter. They just want to say hi. All right. Well, they ride like one percenters. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a 110 to the clubhouse type. You know what I'm saying? And we pull up to this light, and my girl is pissed off. She's been rib checking me. You know what I mean?
She
Because
don't like to ride like that.
I'm going to say hi to these guys. I don't want to show up 5 minutes after. They didn't give me the address. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
had to keep the up. You know what I mean? So we pull up to a light. And she just jumps off the bike, literally. And I go, "What the are you doing?" And I go, "Hey, she needs a ride home." And the light turns green and they burn off. And I said, "Get and took off." You know, I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you start
Call
making.
Uber.
I left her one other time. She's gonna kill me when she watches. I left her at one other time on accident. We just jumped on our bikes, took off. Somebody was like, "Where's your girl?" Oh, she's the one really, really mad.
No.
but yeah. So we get there. I say hi to the guys, and it seems cool what they got going on down there. And I start coming down there and making my face seen and just trying to help out. How you get your foot in the door. You know what I mean? They had some painting they needed done. I'm an artist, and so I did some murals for them, and helped them get their decorations together and things like that.
Yeah.
And then was approached to see if I wanted to prospect, and I don't think anybody knows what's really entailed into that, but I said yeah, and I started prospecting, and at first I was proud, I was happy. You know what? My prospecting period was easy because I'm not the brightest crown in the box. To me, I was in. I was going. You know what I mean? I was somebody. I'm doing something. So every time there was a run or a party, I was just as excited about it as they were
Yeah.
until we got there. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's piling into the bar, and I'm catching a order. So watch the bikes all night, and no beer or smoke, nothing. Oh, yeah,
So you're just sitting outside all night?
man, watching I don't. You ride in the club or you club? I mean, I
Me,
understand.
no. No.
Yeah, no, it comes with a whole set of. You know what I mean?
I've
Watching
hung
guys.
around. I've hung
But
around a little bit, but that's about it, man.
yeah, no, dude, it's really nothing in the scheme of things. You know what I'm saying? Freezing your ass off, standing on a corner, watching security. I mean, it's an important job to keep these guys safe, and especially once you do the whole program, and it's just all learning. You can't be anything if you don't know what you are. You know what I mean? So the process is the most important part. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the time that minds are made up, and some
And
truths are seen, and
everyone goes through it. So you know that the people that you're going that are going to be your brothers, they've been through the
it's
process too.
easier for some and harder for others. You know what I'm saying? I was down for whatever, and I made it super clear. You know what I mean? Like, and it doesn't all have to do with violence, man. I just helped out in any way I could. You know, if you needed a couple bucks, or you needed to borrow my bike, or you needed a tattoo, or any kind of help with anything, like I just tried to make myself available for the club. You know what I mean? At one point, I believed I was going to patch, so I wanted to earn that. You know what I mean? I didn't want to hand out. I didn't want to. The big myth about the pagans out west was that you could buy your way in. If that's the case, man, oh my God, they'd be the biggest club on the West Coast. You know what I mean? Period. Ass point blank. Everybody with the money would be in line, ready to do it. You know what I mean? Harley Davidson would run out of bikes overnight. You know what I mean? Is definitely not the case. You know what
They
I mean?
want quality over quantity, right?
Absolutely. You know what I mean? The guys that I rode with, the garden weeds itself. You know what I'm saying? It really does. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And with that said, like I said, there's no shade to be thrown. I don't have any situations where the club did me wrong. You know what I'm saying? That's absolutely not the case. You know what I'm saying? The best years on earth so far, was in a cut with a suitar on the back. You know what I mean?
Has any situations happened while you were prospecting
Oh,
that
I
stand out in
mean,
your mind, like you're standing outside and someone's f***ing with the bikes or anything like crazy?
yeah, it's not Sons of Anarchy, man. You know what I mean? It's regular. You know what I mean? We live in a big city where there's a lot of homeless. You know what I mean? Keeping crackheads off the lot. You know what I mean? Like that or whatever. I mean, just you know what I mean? Nothing
Yeah.
really, man. As a member, I think I was exposed to way more for sure. You know what I mean? Prospects, they ain't allowed around anything really. You know what I'm saying? What they think they know is in their head, most likely. You know what I mean?
What's it like when you finally get your patch?
Hmm. For me, it was. Obviously, I worked for it, and I thought I worked pretty hard for it. So, getting it was everything I worked for, everything I dreamed of. But my happiness was short lived. At the time, I went into the club. You get a little celebration. Yeah, you made it. You know what I'm saying? The diamond at the time, he says, I want to take you out. I want to take you to the bar. And of course, that's an honor. You know what I mean? First day as a member, rolling out with the diamond. At the end of the night, when it's over, he says, "Hey, throw me your keys." I'm not going to tell him no. You know what I mean? I throw him the keys. Well, the next day, I come to get my bike and it's wrecked. You know what I mean? Right. Yeah. And and I and so let me explain something to you. I'm one of the oddballs for real, for real. I don't give a about money. I really don't, and I don't give a about a bike. Let's set this bitch on fire just to get views. I really don't. I really don't. I've had 4 brand new bikes in the last 4 years, 20 Harleys. Somehow I just got really good karma when it comes to keeping a motorcycle. You know what I mean? Like it just, I've loaned bros bikes. You know what I mean? Uh, All kinds of. Anyway, so I'm the perfect person to have this happen to because I don't give a. You know what I mean? But I'm big on respect, though. You know what I'm saying? The bike's
Yeah.
insured, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
you
it's
get
not like
another
it was
one.
inoperable or smashed like an accordion. It got put down. You know what I mean? So I, man, it's a hard spot to be in, though. You know what I mean?
What's the story he gave you?
So yeah, I said, "Hey, did you wreck my bike?" And he said, "No." And I can't call a brother a liar. You know what I mean? That's not what we're here for. You know what I mean? So I said, "Is there any way that you loaned my bike to someone else?" He said, "No." I said, "Okay." I said, "Is there any way somebody got the keys out of your pocket?" "No." I said, "All right. Well, I don't know what to say other than you know what I mean. You're not telling me the truth. You know what I mean? Emergency church, bam. You know what I'm saying?" But I get it. I I didn't tell you the whole situation. I said, "Well, actually, I'll be at your place in 5 minutes, so we could talk about this person to person, because it's a little loud in here." You know what I'm saying? And
It's the bike rideable.
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it
Is the
was. It
yeah.
was. It was. It was minor damage.
Hmm.
But I get a phone call. Stand down, stand down. Emergency church. And basically, when church was done, because you got to prove in the MC world. You know what I'm saying? He said, she said, don't fly. You know what I mean? You need real facts. You know what I'm talking about? Well, it just so happened I took pictures of the bike the day before. Okay. And there was some damage on the bike, but I had photos of it. And it didn't take a genius to see rusty scratches and shiny scratches. You know what I mean? So the chapter aired on the side of righteousness. The dude would not let his pride, admit that he did what he did and then lied about it. You know what I mean? So they put him back in general population. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man.
Yeah, that
So
sucked
you
for
got
me. Like,
yours. He got he's getting like the
you know, I just prospected. I tried to make the best impression on every brother. You know what I'm saying? He was definitely a vote at the table. You know what I mean? Now, just because I have to stand on mine as a man and can't let something go, and it would have been fucking water under the bridge immediately. Yeah, you should have seen it. The slid all the way across the goddamn pavement. Oh, that's cool. Insurance claim done deal. You know what I mean? No big deal.
yeah.
You know, but I don't like it when you don't respect me enough to tell me the truth. You know what I'm saying? So that there was just as bad as calling me out my name. You know what I mean? You got to respect me. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming here to be a pagan, but I'm already a man. You know what I mean?
He
So
just figured he could lie to you and you'd be
I,
like,
I just felt
whatever.
like I hadn't been a brother long enough to have that respect yet. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Yesterday I was a prospect. You know what I mean? So I get it. You know what I mean? But I don't. You know what I mean? Being who I am. But either way, man, just standing on mine, it got me in trouble, and then it got me, brownie points, if you want to call them brownie points. I'm gonna stay me to a fault. You know what I'm saying? Like, basically, I held every billet in the chapter at one point. You know what I'm saying? Every single one, sec tres all the way up. You know what I mean? I either was a horrible fit, like sec tres. I smoke a lot of pot, so me and numbers ain't best friends. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. I lost the
Uh,
receipt for that. Sorry.
hey, listen, everybody knew me as the guy who got money. I had three businesses, so it was never no like skimming, worrying about no like that. I mean, I was typically buying dinner for people, and you know what I mean. But yeah, definitely not the guy for the job on the accounts and whatever, paying bills, getting things done, dealt with. I think Sergeant at Arms probably would have put me in fucking prison or the grave because you know what I mean. Like, I just felt like I was the appointed protector, and you know what I mean. And I take my job serious, and it just, I was, grateful, to just move on to higher grounds at that
What
point,
what was your favorite position?
president. Yeah, Diamond. Just because, you know, uh, my objectives, for the men around me is to just be men, but respectful men. You know what I'm talking about? In a chapter, you're going to have little youngsters, you're going to have old guys, you're going to have, out of shape guys. You're going to have all these guys. Everybody's not some sort of MMA fighter, but it's important and imperative that you carry yourself with respect and dignity. One thing is that mirrors the military to me is you're putting on something that somebody else fought for. You know what I'm saying? You're really riding in on the coattails with the promissory to carry on. You know what I'm saying? So if you're in debt to everybody before you when you're wearing that,
People have died for that patch.
man, and I got a tattoo on my face of a brother of mine that passed while I was in the club. You know what I mean? And he was taken off by opposition, murdered. You know what I'm saying? Off his bike. You know what I mean? So my son's got his first, middle, and last name. When I told you I loved you and I called you brother, I really, 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 really meant it. You know what I mean?
Did you guys deal with a lot of drama with the opposition?
So I mean, there was times. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, you know what I mean. Mud checks that occur. My brother losing his life. I mean, you hear it, you see it. It's in the news. You know what I mean? R.I.P. all the 16s out there that put in the ultimate sacrifice. You know what I mean? It's a part of the situation that I wish didn't exist, but it does. For that, you know what I mean? I think if you're gonna put a cut on, you should take it 100% serious and you know deserve to be in that cut as well. That's why I take the disrespect so serious when it comes to, you know what I mean, just saying, a whole different faction. There's a lot of serious life that's went into them patches, man. You know what I mean? I don't disrespect the dead. You know. So,
Yeah, like you guys didn't go out looking for problems with other people, right?
you know, my chapter, man. No, zero put up with it. Zero. You know, I can speak 100% in all honesty for my chapter. Zero put up with. You know what I mean? It's kind of different, man. Like I'll tell you one time, I walked into a Harley dealership. You know, I walked into the bike shop, and I was by myself in my cut. You know, and I walk in, and there's about four dudes from another, I mean, polar opposite, and they instantly start. You know, as I walk in, my cut wasn't a cape. You know, it didn't make me 2 foot taller. It didn't give me no special moves, none of that. But it also didn't give you the right to do anything that I wouldn't accept. I could have been wearing a fucking white T-shirt, and if that would have happened, I would have handled it the exact same
Or a
fucking way.
or a priest outfit, or
Listen,
anything, a
bro. I would have
fireman
handled it the
outfit.
exact
Yeah,
fucking way. It had nothing to do with that. Shit, okay, it has everything to do with what the situation was at hand. I don't appreciate that. Shit, respect that, shit, and we could deal with that. My business was at the service desk, which is straight. These guys are off to the right. I beelined right, walked straight up to them. I extended my hand to shake their hand, and as I'm doing that, I said, "How's it going? You want to meet me? My name's, you know," and I dropped my name. And he's looking at me like he ain't gonna touch my hand. And I said, "You must want to meet me. Your eye as soon as I walked in the door, man." And I don't know if you've ever been to jail, but one of the famous things that you'll hear is we could fight, but we can't fight in front of the guard tower, or
yeah,
we can't
yeah.
fight when the guards are looking. You know what I mean, man? You, they could get in too. You know what I'm saying? And that's what he pulled. He said, "Hey, man, you know this ain't the time or place." I said, "That's where you got me up with these other motherfuckers that you do this little mud check." I said, "It's definitely the time and place. Matter of fact, remember this, mother. Anywhere you disrespect me, it's the time and place." And then I said, because they didn't know, "By the way, tell so and so," I said, "Hey," and that widened their eyes bigger than cookies. And the service lady kind of ruined it for me a little bit because on the way out the door, because I gave him my road name. The service lady, bye, blah, 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 bye, blah, 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 with my real name, you know. I don't give a, you know what I'm saying? But now they had a name, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
they're on their phone and they're like, "How do you know him? How do you know him?" I said, "Man, you better ask him about me before you." I'm trying to tell you, bro. He's gonna say, "And you made it out that way? That's cool." Hell yeah, don't. You know, I come with a warning label, man. That's all. Leave me the alone. I'm the scaredest you ever met. The scaredest. Remember that. You ever back a scared dog into a corner? He's biting your ass. He's biting your ass.
100%.
You're getting
100%.
bit. You're getting bit. I would rather be scared and over by myself over here doing my own thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Don't with me because I'm the one that got to go to jail. I'm the one that wakes up the next day and has to move. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Did you ever have to speak with the opposition to like cool things down? Like where they're like, "Oh,
no,
let's try to piece things up. It's getting too crazy." Nothing like that.
no. I mean, I think there's other factions and that you would sit down because I mean, at the end of the day, you could do some research and dig up a picture of anybody standing right next to the opposition and embracing them. If you dig hard enough, somebody was hanging out with everybody back then. For real. I've seen a million photos that would make you go, "What? I thought," and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it just goes back to me and my chapter. Inherent problems, you know, to keep an eye out for. But I didn't hate, I mean, I didn't hate nobody because my dad told me to. So I'm not going to hate anybody because the club told me to. Like I said, I have family members in these other clubs, man. You know what I'm saying? And I got friends. I was talking to a guy the other day, and he's on his way to the other club, and I did nothing but congratulate him. I'm hella happy for the dude. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy for anybody who's going to be happy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You belong where you're going to be happy. It's entertaining to fight, and it's entertaining to live on the edge of life, and it's entertaining to have elevated heart rate just by nature of the way I was raised. So the lifestyle, I fed off of it. You know what I'm saying? It didn't turn me into anything that I'm not, but it definitely was a place to bring that out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What about motorcycle accidents? Has there been any crazy motorcycle accidents since you've been in the club?
Yeah, I broke my back and my neck, but that's crazy, man. Like I was supposed to patch in, and I caught wind of it. You know, hey man, you're gonna look better tonight. Just the innuendos. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So and I just knew it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited as and it's a Vegas party. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be out of town. It's gonna be fun. I pull into my tattoo shop to go grab some more gate money. I already had a B&B, everything set up. You know what I mean? I just wanted more gate money. I pulled into my tattoo shop parking lot, and I might be getting a settlement real quick through Harley because the damn bike I was on just got recalled over the brake system. I was on the bike and hit the brakes, and the bike went sideways and high sided me into a metal pole, broke my back and my neck. So I missed my patch party.
Oh
No,
man.
no airplane ticket, no Vegas party.
How long from that point until you did get your patch?
Man, guys fall off all the time. You know what I'm talking about? You could lose your spot at your patch party. You know what I mean? Like you come in throwing up all over the place, or they always say it's harder to keep than it is to get. You know what I'm saying? Like there's there's all kinds of ways. You know what I mean? Where guys are just end up hitting a hard U-turn. So when I wrecked my bike, I mean, I broke my back and my neck. I was bedridden for 2 months. You know what I mean? Like I was severely up. And a couple times, you know what I mean. A couple of the guys had stopped by, and I definitely felt like I was fading from the scene. You know what I mean? Because I'm MIA at this point. But the kind of guy I am caused me to do what I did. I crawled on my bike in a hospital gown, basically, still, because I was bedridden. It was easier to wear that gown, instead of trying to pull my body through any kind of clothing because I was so broke up.
Yeah.
But I pulled myself together enough, crawled on my bike, rode it down to the clubhouse, crawled in that limping, could barely talk. My voice was all, I mean, I was hurting. And there was a basement in the clubhouse, and everybody was down there, and I still, every one of them stairs felt like I was dying. And when I got down there, what the fuck are you doing here? Whoa, 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 whoa. You know what I mean? But it was just an attempt to let them know this is pregame, baby. I've been around dudes who cut their fingernail too short and can't ride their bike.
Yeah,
You know
they're
what I'm
like, I gotta
saying?
go
Like,
change the kitty litter.
hey, bro, I've been stuck in snowstorms. I got permanent broken bones. Like, I'm riding right now, and this pops in and out.
Oh,
Like, so it just was what it was. I showed a little vibrato by going down there all beat up and broke up and then just it wasn't no right away thing. It wasn't like your fever's gone, okay, let's have a patch party. You know what I mean? I was still a prospect. I didn't get no extra love, or I was
yeah.
still a prospect.
You
I
didn't get no
wrecked my bike,
special treatment. No
but I didn't
special
wreck it
treatment.
riding for the club. I wrecked it going to get money. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it was like a non-issue. But eventually, a couple few months after that, I ended up making it, becoming a full member. And honestly, is the best and worst day of my life, man. You know what I'm saying? It's everything you hoped it to be, but you got all this, pressure on you now. You know what I'm saying? You got no excuses. You got zero excuses. If you got an excuse, what are you doing with a cutoff? You know what I mean? Shouldn't you have got rid of all them excuses before you made it? You know what I'm saying? So I
Did
educated myself in a lot of history. You know what I mean? Um, Respectfully, will admit that I don't know it all, but I'm even now that I don't ride with the club. I'm still infatuated with the history. Still try to educate myself.
yeah.
There's protocol, man. I'm not new to this. You know what I'm saying?
Have you seen a lot of people come and go, prospects and members?
Like I said, the garden weeds itself. I did a lot of paying attention to myself in my program. You know what I'm saying? But with that said, it mattered to me to preserve a brother. If like I said, I've paid club debts, I've paid dues, I've gotten hotel rooms so brothers can come from out of town with no lodging. I mean, I've done a lot of for the what I mean, for the club. You know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
still continue to assist. You know what I'm saying, with brothers that need help in anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm there for them as much as I can be. You know, Basically, fast forward the complete situation to me not being in a cut. It was not a request. It was highly, you know, I had a lot of brothers that definitely did not want me to go. You know what I'm saying? It was kind of abrupt. You know what I'm saying? Here's the thing. I love having fun, and I love being a pagan, and I love being there for brothers. But and this sounds like something I should have thought about before I ever put my foot in the water. But I have kids. You know what I'm saying? And I understand other club members have kids, so that's not my point that I'm making. But I have kids that needed me 100% at that time, not as mom and dad. I had to take custody of my children. You know what I'm saying? Full
Yeah.
custody. And anybody who rides in the club knows how the courts look at us. You know what I'm saying? It's a black eye right away, man. If you're struggling for a divorce or any kind of get your kids in any kind of custody battle or anything like that, you could almost kiss your goodbye if you're a member. You know what I mean? And I just distanced myself as quickly as possible when I seen that my number one needed me. You know what I'm saying? I make a promise to you, I got to keep it, right? Well, I made a promise to him first. You know what I'm saying? That's my son. And I ain't catching not a drip of slack from the club. They ain't ever had one person say anything negative about my decision. You know what I'm saying? I get told, PopKorn, go raise them babies, man. You know what I'm saying? They see me. You know what I mean? My life is a movie, man. I'm at work every day. I'm a heavy presence on social media. You know what I mean? I'm loud and proud about whatever. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Just that's the cut and dry of it. I can't give 110% to my kids being in a club, and I can't give 110% to my club when my kids need to be raised. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Uh, it matters how I feel about my grandkids if I might pick it back up again. You know what I'm saying? That
Yeah.
might be the
I
next
was
excuse and
was
shit. You know what I mean?
like was your wife happy when you became a member? Was
Yeah,
your family happy
the,
about it?
the deal is, man, the lifestyle has so many different avenues. I know members that don't drink, don't do anything. They're you know what I mean? Everything you wouldn't even imagine that they was living that life. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
they're just so solid dudes, man. Crane operators. You know what I mean? Like people that got to be sober and what I mean? Dudes, heavy machinery. You know what I'm saying? They don't let people just any lame ass dude up on that. You know what I mean? And then of course everybody got their knuckleheads. Well, I was with a person who was a lot younger than me, so they was more interested in probably the more attractive side of the lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not. You know what I mean? I'm not a church mouse. We already discussed that, but I've already lived that life too. So it's not as glamorified by me. It's not glorious to me. You know what I mean? I've really been in that, so I know where it ends. You know what I mean? I don't need to. I don't need to tiptoe around.
Do law enforcement mess with you guys a lot when you were out there?
Gang task force came, said hi to me. They try their little intimidation. You know, and then getting pulled over was the new thing. Obviously, you know what I'm saying. But I don't give a. I mean, if that's the best thing you got going for yourself right now is talking to me, just tell your old lady you did it and we're good. Yeah, no, it was cool. I had a really good time in the club, man. I really did. I don't know what the fuck I really thought, being in a club was gonna be. There's not really one word to describe it, you know what I mean? Because you're dealing with different levels and you're dealing with so many different guys and to me, you know, I just if I had time or maybe some other time I could show you some photos I got. But I inherited all the photos from my dad. There's 50 tents on the hillside with 50 bikes. There's wet t-shirt contest in the river. There's all you could eat watermelon contest with the kids, and pig roasts and live bands, and you know what I mean, just uh, bed rolls tied on the back of every single bike. You know what I mean? You don't see that no more. People ride bikes to hotels and airports.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's what I thought it was going to be. I fell in love with the honest to God culture of it. One thing that I'd listen to my dad say all the time, like I said, he was racist. He would bitch about black street gangs and how motorcycle clubs are being called gangs or starting to be affiliated type gang style, and it made him roll in his skin. He hated it. You know what I mean? Because he loved the aspect of riding with no shirt on or flapping in the wind. You know what I'm saying? Chugging beer out of a keg. Wearing dirty ripped jeans, counting quarters to fill your Harley tank up. Like, you know what I mean? I've heard of more side of the road fix it stories from my dad. I have heard none from the new generation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they
There's a
bring their
story one
bikes to
time.
get bring their bikes to go get worked on at a shop, right? They don't like
Look,
there's no
hey, look.
wrenching.
So because I do work so many hours, and because I ain't got to prove, I pay to have my bike worked on because I ain't got, and it's just me. You know what I'm saying? I I have cords on my before showing. I have no tread on my tires by the time I go get my changed or whatever. You know what I mean? But I'll tell you a story like I'm telling you about not wrenching anymore. I rode my bike. I'm in Spokane, Washington. I rode my bike to Mesa, Arizona. You know what I mean? Straight. You took off. You know what I mean? And I went in. I want to say it was like March. Okay, so not the brightest idea. You know what I'm saying? The trip down there, we caught this little gap of good weather. You know what I mean? Basically good weather all the way down there. You know what I mean? When we get there, basically there's some prospects there, and one of the members says, it would be a good test is to put these prospects on these bikes and tell them to beat us home. You know what I'm saying? Because we had a vehicle we can get into or whatever, you know what I'm saying, and send them on the bikes. Very reluctantly, because that was the funnest ride I'd ever been on. You know what I mean? And I wanted to come back up through California and like that, but in the name of the team, you know what I mean, I had to vote the popular vote and let this prospect take my bike and put him on this mission to ride all the way back and beat us. We get a phone call about, I'd say, maybe 100 miles out of Spokane. You know, hey man, I'm on the side of the road, man. The bike's down. I got a flat tire. We said, where you at? I'm about, hour and a half out of Spokane. Oh, we ain't there for another 6 hours, man. We'll be there if you're gonna wait. You know what I mean? It's snowing, raining, slurry. It is. It's miserable. It's miserable in the vehicle. I'm laying in the back of a pickup truck, freezing my ass off, wet as. It's a miserable trip. You know what I mean? And we come pulling up on this prospect, man, and he is frozen. You know what I mean? Just can't move his hands, can't untie his own boots. You know what I'm saying? He's popsicled out. You know what I mean? And where he was at on the freeway, you could see a clear shot to a gas station. You know what I mean? And he waited 4 hours for us to get there. You know what I'm saying? I would have pushed the damn bike at minimum. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
ran over there. I would have
To
ran
the
over
fucking
there and
gas
said,
station and
"Hey,
waited over. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But either way, we get the bikes loaded up and we get into Spokane and drop my bike off at the tattoo shop. There's a gas station on the opposite corner. And I'm old and fat and wore out. You know what I'm saying? And I just got off this long ass trip. I pushed the goddamn bike across the street by myself, got in the saddlebag. There was a patch kit, a plug kit in the saddlebag. I'm fat, blind, all this shit. Got it done. You know what I mean? Aired the tire up and showed back up to the house to the old lady on a bike with a plug in the tire. You know what I mean? And that's
would it have a
minimal.
nail in it? Did it have a nail in the tire, son?"
They ran something over on the freeway, put a hole right through it. You know what I mean? I don't even know. Whatever it was. I mean, but it ain't that hard to be a biker.
I mean, that's just stuff you got to do when you're riding across the country.
Yeah. I mean, now my friend that was the out bad guy or whatever in the other story, me and him, we sat in the rain in 2 days, dude, and we broke a bike all the way down to the frame. You know what I mean? Front end off, swing arm off, motor out, tranny out, everything straight, pure frame. And with a book in 2 days, rebuilt the entire bike. You know what I'm saying? And that's my best memory ever. You know what I mean? Like, of course, it was miserable with bloody knuckles in the rain, sitting in the yard. You know what I mean? Like getting paid in beer and his old lady bringing dinner out type. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but it was awesome. You know what I mean? That's
Oh,
what it's
yeah.
for.
Do you think it's possible that these clubs can ever coexist?
Nope. Nope. No. In a town, in a chapter, sure. You know what I'm saying? Because I think what happens is you get these long term presidents on each side, and they've done prison time. They've watched brothers get hauled off. They've buried brothers. They've see guys lose their family. They've watched everything that could happen with this. And I think what happens is they come up with that mutual respect for each other that at minimum, even if I don't like you, even if you killed Tommy and we killed Timmy and you know what I mean type situation, even if it's that, there's still that mutual respect that, you know, we go to this bar, you go to that bar. You know what I mean? Like it's not widespread, you know what I'm saying? But that was something that I would tell my guys, you know what I mean? It ain't out of punking out, man. It look, there's enough bars in the city, for real. And there's way more than enough women, little patch bunnies, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So there ain't no need to piss on a rock. You know what I'm saying? Now, there were bars that, we frequent, you know, and if we walked in there and you were there, I guess we're staying, you know what I'm saying? Because we do frequent this bar. You know what I'm saying? And it looks like you're going to be the one that is going to have to stand in line next to me and deal with it. You know what I'm saying? When I'm ordering my beer, that's a ticking time bomb waiting to happen. Who would do that, right? You know, I mean, matter of fact, I'm not stupid enough to have a beer next to somebody like that. If it was my bar, I would take that as a sign of disrespect too. That's why there'll never be no, because you can't be too careful, man. You know what I'm saying? The guy, the brother that I tattooed on my forehead, you know what I mean? That's proof, you know what I mean? Like it's real, you know what I mean? It's not a game. It's part of the situation that I don't agree with, but that don't change the tide. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is what it is.
It's a lot of crazy stories, man.
Oh yeah.
So if there's someone watching right now that's thinking about joining a club, what would be your advice to that person?
I would say just, be patient, man. Don't rush the process. You're not doing justice to yourself. You're not doing justice to the people you're trying to be a part of, and you're doing a huge injustice to the people beforehand. The fallen brothers and brothers that got 20, 30, 40 years into a club. You know what I mean? There's other things to go do with your time if you're not looking to follow something bigger than yourself. You know what I'm saying? Being a part of something isn't easy sometimes, meaning you're going to have to let some self go, right? I don't think you should self-sacrifice. It shouldn't be awkward or put you out of character to fit in. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I didn't handle any situation because I was a pagan the way I handled it. I handled every situation the way I handle situations. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what really is going to keep you safe and, keep a name out there for you that's in good standing. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely think that they should go for it, man. It's the American motorcycle dream. Come on, let's do it for real. I mean,
Yeah.
nothing more badass than wearing something that shows people what you are in your heart. A lot of people feel a lot of way about a lot of stuff, political or religious or faction, and some keep it, on the hush hush. One thing I admire about, bikers is we're absolutely proud of, our club and our colors and our background, and but that's a good thing too. Like you could make your decision on certain factions and see that, that patch or that color or gear or whatever, and feel at ease that you're around people that, you know what I mean.
What's your goal for the future?
My goal for the future, really just to raise my kids. You know what I mean? Excel my tattoo shop. Just really make a lot of money. I'm trying to focus on wealth at this point. I had three businesses at one point. I got two now. You know what I mean? I had to lick a couple wounds, but I'll get back up on top. For the future, as far as motorcycles go, I ride every single day. I don't change my people, places, or things. You know what I mean? I don't ride with the club at all. I mean, I don't go to functions. I don't do none of that. That's more of a choice that, who wants to be depressed every day? Who wants to a constant reminder that you're not there anymore? I didn't put it down because I didn't want it. I didn't put it down because, I was scared or tired of it. That's not the case. You know what I mean? It hurt very bad. You know what I mean? It still hurts. It'll hurt for the rest of my life.
Yeah, but you had to make a choice. You had to make a
Yeah,
choice.
I'm not doing anybody a justice if my head isn't 100% in there. You know what I'm saying? It's not, Sons of Anarchy. It's not like, 10 people need me there because, I'm a sure shot. And it's not like that. It's just, you know, how can you be there for a guy? Say you're going to be there for a guy, make church, be a part of the functions, do all that. I have three kids, full custody, two businesses. You know what I mean? Other guys can do it. They spread their self thin, or they just got wider shoulders than I do. I just feel like I couldn't commit to things that I wanted to commit to. You know what I mean? I ain't throwing no shade on nobody else. I was the president for almost a year. I don't see any way they would have taken that from me. You know what I mean? Because the name I made for myself and the things that I did is the reason why I ended up in the patch that I had on. You know what I'm saying? That it
Yeah.
didn't just fall out of the sky. It wasn't my turn. It wasn't like that. It was a choice made. You know, and one thing that ended up being something that was like showcased about, hey, I want to introduce you to PopKorn. It was, this dude will stand on his own on his beliefs, like, you know what I mean. It wasn't always popular. When I was the sergeant at arms, I got told to turn my not my cut in, but my tab, you know what I mean, my officer's patch, because I didn't want to, take care of a situation a certain way, but it was because I seen the situation for what it actually was, and I'm not about to feel like I can't sleep in my own skin. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you got to be a man first. You know what I'm saying? And I know what's wrong is wrong, and we'll revert to saying I don't handle the way they handle the because of a patch. I handle the way I always handled. I just happen to have a patch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And in the end, when the wash came clean, that's what I'm saying. They came back and was like, "Hey, brother, you know what I mean? Way to be." You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you psychic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I said, no, I just kind of looked, I look down range. You know what I'm saying? You look
Yeah.
this close, you do a lot of up. You know what I mean? Try to look down range and see where that's going to end up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. A lot of people just drive it with the rear view mirror, right? a
And,
lot of
you know what I mean? Hey, one fun thing about clubbing though, man, is just like, taking it serious and actually and applying yourself and being attentive to everything and just really being a part of it is just watching all the drama unfold. You know what I'm saying? Because you're dealing with a bunch of grown men's different lives. You know what I'm saying? This guy just won a bunch of money. This guy owes a bunch of money. This guy's, kid's about to graduate. This guy's about to have a kid. I mean, there's so many different angles of popping off. You know what I'm saying? And it would change overnight. And that's one of the first things I got privy to. Like the story about my first experience at the bar, and dude going to general population the next day. That's the shit I'm talking about. You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
could be raining 1 minute and sunshine the next. But at the same day, you know what I mean? We was all smiles when I got the call about my brother. So it could be all sunshine and then nothing but cloudy storms. You know what I mean? Being back to that question you said about asking people about getting into clubs. The biggest mistake you could ever do is lie to yourself. Don't ever talk yourself into shit. You it should roll off your tongue like facts if you're going to get yourself into it. You know what I mean? You should never lie to yourself, because nothing tastes worse than the other way it could have went, ending up the way that it went, and that's the way you weren't ready to be prepared for. If you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You need to accept both ends of the situation, and if you could do that, because you end up in prison, the grave, you can lose everything, all this. Are you still willing to step forward? You know what I mean? And I'm not going to say what I think a lot of other guys do, but I know that was the biggest, you know what I mean, eye opener to me. There's people that just like to fish or hang out and throw football, but there's other people that are activists, you know what I mean, and are looking for a little bit more excitement. And I fall into that second category, you know what I mean? So I, I was just always willing to end up putting in work, you know what I mean? Like, so I
There's a
knew,
lot
I
of
knew,
people
I
like
knew, I
that
knew,
out
I knew
there.
I was going to end up putting in a collect phone call to my wife. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Eventually, right?
No bullshit, man. You know
And
what I
you
mean?
you you never did time in prison
So you
as a
know what, man? I got in
as a
trouble for
grown up?
weed when weed was illegal. So I did county time and stupid like that. But I learned my lesson at a young age, man. I stole 2, 3 cars every single day, from the age of like 10, 11 years old till 15. So how many thousands of Grand Theft Autos is that? I got caught in 2 high-speed chases as a minor and got away in 3, 5 high-speed chases and got away. I've been in multiple horrific car accidents and stolen cars, robbed houses. You know what I mean? Like we did a lot of badass real. I was always the youngest one in the room. You know what I mean? Like it started with breaking into my damn school, stealing all the shit out the school store. You know what I mean? Just dumb, everything.
Yeah.
Assaults, everything. So I got it out of my system before I was older. I did the weed thing, and you know what happened with the weed thing, man, is they broke me off. You know, so when they broke me off for the weed thing, I came to the realization, well, I've done way worse. You know what I'm saying? So maybe I ought to take this as my calling card to being bad ain't for me. You know what I'm saying?
100%. Do you think when you have a patch on your back, kind of put a target on your back too, right?
I mean, yeah, but if you ain't breaking the law, like who gives a? That was about to be my next statement. I got pleasure in knowing them was following me. I'm not doing, dude. You are one board. You know what I mean? Like for real. You know what I'm saying? I work 11 to 11, 7 days a week. The only illegal thing I do is break the speed limit. You know what I mean? For real. I speed everywhere I go. Ooh, you know what I mean?
Forget your girl on the side
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
road.
you know what I mean? No, I mean there was some incidents where gang task force showed up here at the tattoo shop. So, how was your trip to so and so area? Da, 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 da. And I don't really talk to cops. You know what I mean? I let them know, hey, look, if you want to have a conversation, I can call a lawyer. You know what I mean? And he goes, oh, it's not that serious. I just wanted to see if you were, you know, I, I wrecked my bike. This wasn't that time. This was a different time. And the gang task force let me know, oh, I just wanted to see if you was okay. The crazy part about that is not a soul knew I wrecked my bike. Listen to this. I'm hanging out, not here. You know what I mean? And it's time to go now. There's brothers that need help. They're in need of some assistance. So I jump on my bike and I end up wrecking it getting there. Okay, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I wrecked it getting there, it just got real weird real quick. For one, the bike never went down, but I tacoed the rims. So basically, I smoked a curb at about 70 miles an hour and turned my wheels into squares. And so I couldn't keep going, but I'm limping the bike down the road and I pull into a hotel parking lot and I get on the phone with my girl and some chick is ear hustling my conversation. I get off the phone and she says, I'm going that way. You could throw the bike on my trailer. You know what I mean? So my bike wasn't even down for 2 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I throw my bike on this chick's trailer and I make it to my people. You know what I mean? And hey, where's the bike? Oh, it's gone. You know what I mean? It's already on its way back. Da da da. Okay, so all the situations handled, taken care of, and I go back home, and gang task force shows up. You know what I mean? Hey, how's it going? Just want to make sure you was okay. Yeah, heard you wrecked your bike.
That girl.
Eh, maybe. if she wasn't one of them, you know what I mean? I don't know. But like I said, I mean, by a proxy, can you end up hemmed up for a long ass minute? Yeah, we've all seen. Well, you ever heard of Rico? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you put it on. You better be ready for the ride, any what way it might go, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, for that. But no, man, I ride around righteous. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing shit, but being a biker, having fun, chasing the sun. You know.
I hear that. Well, thank you, man. I really appreciate it. I know you got a lot more stories, and I'll bring you back again for a part 2. I know people are going to enjoy this one. Really appreciate your story. I look forward to speaking with you again.
Yeah, let me know when you get this ready.
Definitely, 100%. And if you like this show, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can get my videos every time they drop. And if you don't like the show too bad, start your own podcast.